What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and today we're actually going to be talking about Need for Speed, a new game coming out this November from EA, and it's actually surprisingly looking pretty good. They did a FAQ over on their website, and it answered some of the more standard questions that people would normally ask, you know, what's the name of the game, how many cars they're going to be off, that good stuff. And two of the questions were actually the questions that are somewhere around here. Will there be paid DLC, and will there be microtransactions, which are two things that we have pretty much become accustomed to in today's day and age in the gaming industry. And the answer was that there's not going to be any paid DLC, or at least there are no plans for any at this time, and there are not going to be any microtransactions, which is a huge step forward for EA. Now, at first, I thought I misread this, to be honest. I was scrolling through Reddit, and I saw that someone had posted this, and I clicked on it, and it actually said there would be neither paid DLC or microtransactions, and that's really strange because racing games are prime territory for this kind of thing, because you can use microtransactions to buy cars, different kinds of customizations for your cars, such as skins, wheels, rims, all of that good stuff. You can make that into little 25-cent purchases here and there. You could buy tracks, you could buy in-game currency to buy cars and tracks with early instead of earning them. There are so many ways you could do microtransactions within racing games that it's just kind of become a standard that I expect from this kind of thing, and the fact that Need for Speed isn't going to have any in it actually kind of surprised me in a good way. Another thing that shocked me is that there's not going to be any paid DLC, or at least there's not any planned at this time, like I said, and that's just something I've kind of come to expect. I expect $15 to $20 expansion packs on a game that I've already paid $60 for. That's just kind of standard in today's day and age, especially for EA, and for a Need for Speed game, a pretty big name franchise and a big name title for 2015, to not have paid DLC and instead be giving out free DLC over the course of the game's life. That's something that I wasn't really expecting, and again, I was pleasantly surprised. In addition to this, the PC version of the game has been pushed back to spring 2016, which is actually a good move, because the Xbox One and PS4 versions come out in November, and they are locked at 30 frames per second, because EA kind of wanted to make sure the game ran well. Because of all of the fast action that goes on in a racing game, 60 frames a second just couldn't keep up with the hardware of the console, and ultimately it was probably the best decision in the long run. But a bad decision would have been to go ahead and lump all of these release dates together and then lock the PC version of the game at 30 frames a second, because there is nothing that makes PC gamers more frustrated than having a PC that can run hundreds of frames per second and being locked down to 30. So in spring of 2016, PC gamers are going to be able to get this version of the game, and you're going to have an unlocked frame rate, which is absolutely perfect, because this kind of game really does look better with a higher frame rate, and the fact that they're allowing PC gamers to really take advantage of the system that they're going to be running on is great. I really appreciate that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that EA looks to be finally turning stuff around on their end. Whenever Andrew Wilson was appointed as the CEO back in 2013, things really started changing. EA was actually named the worst company in America whenever Andrew Wilson took it over, and so far he's transformed it from being the worst company into America into a company that doesn't necessarily do what is always best for the consumer, but they're definitely not the evil dictating overlord that we're all so used to at this point. And I guess that's just one step forward, and in the end, Need for Speed looks like it's actually turning out better than I thought it would. I always thought Need for Speed was just kind of done. They would have all these little small titles that would come out on probably a bi-yearly basis, but would never sell that well and only have a few select people that were really excited about it. And I think that this is going to be the best opportunity to reboot the franchise and maybe even bring back some love from the original Need for Speed community that I know is still out there today, a member of which I am. So there you guys have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a like down below, and be sure to check the description box. There's actually a beta for this game that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's a closed beta, so if you wanted to put in that application and see if you qualify for it, you can go ahead and click that link in the description box down below. I know I did, and I'm really hoping to be able to test out Need for Speed a couple of weeks before it's released and let you guys know what I think. But of course, thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed, like I said, leave a like, comment what you think, and as always, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.